What's up, peeps? I'm gonna go over the band announcement that happened today because it's real dumb. I don't like it at all. Um, Not so much the cards that were banned, which it's kind of the cards that were banned. It's not so much the cards that were banned. It's the idea of the cards that were banned this time around that kind of bothers me. So, like in the past, I think what was it like the biggest ban in standard history was like around like 2012 when Jace the Mind Sculptor got banned, and I think like Squadron Hawk might have gotten banned. So I can't remember exactly, but that was huge. It completely like shaped the format when those cards got banned. Then Magic went on for 5 years. Everything was fine. Everything was good. And then, all of a sudden, like a year ago, they banned Squadron Copter, Copter. They banned Emrakul. They banned the Cat combo. They banned Cat. And then they banned Reflector Mage, because it was good in Collected Company. Or it was just a good card, but mainly Collected Company. So it seems like the precedent that Wizard is taking with these banned lists, these cards that are no longer available to play in standard formats, is that they're kind of creating sets, seeing what happens with the sets, and then like kind of cutting them off at the legs. Like cutting them off. That is the complete opposite of how Magic has been made and how it should be made. Like, sets should be good, they should be tested before they're released. And like how come in the past there was very little standard interaction? Like now it's, well, this deck is being played a bunch, and this deck is being played a bunch, so we're gonna ban these cards and essentially negate these decks. Like, what does that do to the players that are playing those decks? I mean, if like 80% of the format are these two decks, and you just ban them, well, now you've put 80% of the people that play the game in a bind. It's very bizarre. Like, why would you let it get to that point? And they've let it get to the point twice now. The first time was with, like a year ago with the Emrakul bannings but now it seems like before they were targeting one card. I mean, they were like crippling cards, but now it's look at these bans. Look at these bans. They see two decks that are being played a whole bunch, and they're like, we need to stop this for whatever reason. Like, why? Like, I've never seen Wizards really do this. Like, I've seen, the bannings in the past, yes, but this seems insane because it's kind of premature. Like, the new set hasn't even come out. Like, nobody knows what's going on. They're taking the previous shit that has been dominating, and they're just saying, okay, the new format is going to be dominated by these decks unless we ban them, which is effectively saying that the new set that they just printed has absolutely no effect on the standard format, which is what I've been saying since the beginning of the spoils of Rivals. The set will have no effect on standard. And this just solidifies my position on it even further, is that the set that they just made has absolutely no bearing on the current standard format. So, what do they need to do? Well, they need to ban cards. They need to chop off the legs of these tier 1 decks. That seems like such a backwards mentality to me. I mean, we can go through it, but I mean, I'm sure anybody who's watching this is going to see and going to already understand it, but the way that they're going at this right now is so wrong. I do not like it at all. Like, what? Like they've acknowledged the fact that they printed an incredibly weak set because it wouldn't do anything in standard. So what do they have to do? They have to get rid of other cards that are available in standard. Does that not sound dumb? Oh my god. I mean, like let's go through it a little bit. Let's go through it just a little bit, just so that we can get a slight understanding of where they're coming from, even though I know exactly where they're coming from. It's so dumb. And look at this, like they're bringing in all these numbers to justify their bannings, and in the end, it's because they printed a poor set that is going to have no effect on the format, so they need to bring numbers in to like justify their bannings. So like let's see this. Okay. Teamer energy and other energy variants. Yeah. Energy has been a completely dominating force. I've said this since I started making any videos on this game. Energy is completely dominant. All of the cards from the new set have zero effect on the format right now, which is a problem. It's a problem. Let's see. Okay. The length of time for which these decks have been dominant, as long as 5 or more months, depending on how one categorizes different energy variants. Okay. 5 or more months? Like, you have to understand the cycle of Magic sets. Main standard sets come out every 3 months, right? So, what they're saying here, I mean, so it was Kaladesh, Aether Revolt, and then Amonkhet, and then Hour of Devastation. Amonkhet and Hour of Devastation had no place in the energy, like, whatever. Like, energy has been strong since its inception. The fact that they're saying it's been as long as 5 months or more, like, yes, that's kind of true, but the problem is deeper than that. They created this broken ability in Magic that was able to be abused. And then, on top of this broken ability that was able to be abused, they printed another set that didn't diminish the broken ability of energy. It just enhanced it a little bit. So yes, 5 months or more, but at the same time, the ability was broken at the beginning. Maybe I shouldn't be going through this because it's going to hurt me a little bit. Okay. However, in this case, combinations of 3 factors has necessitated intervention. The length of time for which these decks have been dominant, 5 or more months. The standard rotation did not meaningfully weaken these decks or result in new decks that are competitive with them. That is 100% on Wizards. Like, you don't have an entire research and development team. Like, you don't have an entire team that builds sets and that tests sets in order for this to happen. Like, the reason that you pay your employees is so that this doesn't happen. They're kind of just shushing aside the fact that, oh, well, the format rotated and, well, the best deck didn't lose, so now we have to deal with it. Like, that's a complete cop-out. It's dumb. It's not. That's insane. Like, you have people to test this shit, okay? Test it. What are they doing? Oh my god, it's so insane to me. Number 3. Despite the metagame having many months to adapt to these decks, counterplay options have been proven insufficient. So, 1 through 3, 1, 2, and 3 here, essentially, Wizard is telling everybody in the world that we're going to pump sets out, and you guys need to test it for us, and if you come up and you don't fix the format for us, we're just going to start banning cards. That is exactly what they're saying right there. They're saying, well, we're going to release cards, we're going to do some testing maybe, but we're not going to care enough to want to promote the amazing game that's being played. That's where you step in, players. You need to come up with the best ways to beat these decks, and if in the end, the shit that we created, if there's only 2 strong, prominent decks, we're going to cut them off with the knees. That's not right. That's not right. People are here to play your game, and you shouldn't harm the player by making poor decisions with your game design, essentially. Like, people are buying the cards to play these decks, and it's not their fault that they're playing the best deck, but apparently now it is their fault because you're going to be banning their entire deck from the format. You're going to be cutting them off. This is going to hurt the player base a lot. I mean, it's so weird. It's so weird, this line of logic. Like, well, we put this game out here and we just kind of sat back and just let it happen. Oh, well, these 2 decks seem to be the best and nobody could figure out how to beat them. So, I mean, because you guys couldn't figure out how to beat it, I guess we'll beat it by banning these 4 cards. What? What is going on? It's sad. It's sad. I mean, I feel bad for the people that built these decks and were planning on playing with them. I mean, how many people built the Saheeli Cat combo deck and then Cat got banned? That was 1 card that was banned, and it screwed up a whole bunch of people's, like, people bought their deck to play it and then it just got swiped out from under them. They're obviously, I don't know what to say, man. It's crazy. It is crazy. I mean, I guess we can go through the ban cards. Like, Tune with Aether. They're banning a common card. They're banning a common. This is how far down Wizards has sunk. Like, they're so shit at building sets that they have to ban commons. And, like, I could read all of this, and I have. I understand. They just wanna kill energy decks. But, like, look at how pathetic they look, having to ban a common in standard. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. And I know this is, yeah. Yes, all of these numbers and stuff, all of these particulars and all of this stuff, and they're like, the entire section right here is pretty much just like, well, we need to ban this card over this card. We're gonna ban one, but the reason we're banning this one over this one is because of this. Like, you shouldn't have to ban anything over anything because you should know how to build the game that you're providing to people. Like, so, and I mean, I'm not going to be surprised if energy still persists after this because of how sloppy and how fucking retarded Magic has been, or how Wizards has been with this game lately. They're just so sloppy. All they care about is just printing shit. All they want to do is print stuff. Like, look at the last set they printed. No effect on the standard format. This last set, Rivals, has no effect on the format. What is the incentive of playing Like, it's so insane. What is the incentive of people that are playing Standard to even care about Rivals? They're starting to just split so insane, and it's so crazy, man. Like, let's move on to Ramming Up Red, which I can't believe I would ever have to say this, but Wizards decided it was okay to ban red deck wins. What world am I living in where they had to ban cards from mono red? Good God, what world am I living in? Like, look at this. They're justifying their shit by, like, oh, with the metagame share above 2%. Oh, like these numbers, like, this is why it's important to ban it. Like, blah blah blah. It's like, I think they're trying too hard to try to, like, I mean, this is gonna be tinfoil hat of me. I think they're trying too hard to, like, stave off the loss of players by, like, trying to, like, balance the format when it was imbalanced to begin with because they made shitty decisions. Now they're trying to prove to people that they're trying to do the right thing when it's too late. It's too late. You just banned 4 cards. Like, you're not going to get anybody back who has already quit from your shitty decisions. All you're going to do here is you're going to make more people leave the game by your shitty decisions. It's so insane. Like, it's I mean, to me it seems so black and white. I don't even want to go through this because look at this. I mean, not only did they ban a common, like, it wasn't even rampant growth. It was get a land out of your deck, 1 green. Now they're banning Ramming Up Ruins, an uncommon desert land. They're banning that? I feel bad for the people that still play Standard right now. It just feels really bad. And Ramming Up Ruins adds a lot of invisible power to the deck, adding a virtual reduction to the opponent's list. Yes, Sly red deck wins has always had that. Like, Sly back in the day had Fire Blast. Did you ban Fire Blast because it had the reach to be able to kill their opponent? No. Why now? Back in the day, did you in red deck, the original red deck wins, did you ban Arc Slogger because it had the reach to be able to take over the game? No. Why now? Why now? Why are they banning stuff like this? It really makes you ask some questions. Really makes you ask some questions. For many players, Rampaging Ferocidon is likely to be the most surprising of the cards we're taking action against. No, it is not. And now they're talking about other decks that they had to ban cards from. Like, okay, this might have gotten a little bit off topic, but kind of where I'm going with this is Wizards is going down a very dark path. It's going down a very dark path where they feel like they can print anything and let the tournament formats dictate what is good or not, and then they can, like, they've essentially made the standard format their R&D. So it's very bizarre. It's very bizarre. I doubt this helped anybody, but just understand that Magic is heading down a very dark, dark path with this shit. Peace.